This should be the only mic to be on.
Test, test, 1, 2.
Yeah.
There you go.
I couldn't see the light. I saw them.
Yeah, let me just run through this real quick. Are we waiting?
Start with Pontiac. Dom is here.
So are we going, they're not playing again, right? They're not going to play the Pharaohs again.
No, this
They
is
play
the
Kalamazoo or something. This will be their only matchup. They haven't won a single.
Yeah, the first one's on.
We're wide. If you can hear me, we're good to go.
Yeah, good enough.
Once again, the TBL and the BSL come together for a crossover matchup. Tonight, the WFCU Center hosts the first true Border City battle. It's Michigan versus Ontario as the Pontiac Pharaohs of the TBL face off against the Windsor Express of the BSL.
And a very pleasant good evening, everybody. This is Aaron Sanders alongside Drake Demore. A special welcome to those tuning in on TBL TV and especially in the Pontiac, Michigan region as the Pharaohs and the Express are set to do battle. Let us be your lucky charms for the night on this St. Patrick's Eve. And Drake rejoins me again. And the Pontiac Pharaohs, Drake, they have been exceptionally busy. They played last night against the Glass City Wranglers, but it's been a while since they played against a BSL team. You have to go all the way back to the beginning of last month where they played against the best in the TBL, the London Lightning.
And a tough one, of course, Aaron. So far, 0-3 against BSL teams, but like you said, they've been hot and they've been busy lately. Rolling right into the Windsor here, back to Canada for their first game here in the WFCU. Our first game with the TBL team, Aaron.
The first of 3 going on very, very soon. Now, for the Pontiac Pharaohs, one of their main players is Khalil Gracie, who ended up with 25-plus points on that loss against London, so we're going to keep our eyes on him. For the Windsor Express, however, their roster is far different from what we've seen at the beginning of the season. Let's take a look at the roster changes right now. A major loss for the Windsor Express right now, Trendon Hankerson.
Absolutely. We kind of heard rumblings about this in the last few weeks, and we knew that it would be detrimental to the team. That being said, this is a business, guys, and there's a lot out there. There's a lot of assets out there that we're going to see if the new ones picked up by Bill Jones and company today, if it's worth their while, if they're going to be the guns to step up and maybe push this team to the championship yet again.
And along with Hankerson gone, Willie Atwood is gone, and same with David Blackburn. He ended up scoring about 32 points in his debut in the TBL's Connecticut Crusaders, so we wish him the best on the other side of this Border City rivalry. Now let's talk about how the Express played out last Wednesday. Here's the thing, Drake. They shot over 50% from the field, shot over 50% from downtown, and missed only one free throw to equal almost 90%. But their main problem against KW, as been the case all season long, has been their presence in the paint. They gave up bundles of points in that loss.
Obviously, still not walking away with the win. Although they had a good game on paper, Aaron, there's a lot that goes into this game. And we break it down almost every week against every team, no matter who it is. There's so many different categories that we have to look at for the Windsor Express. And it looks like they have to be almost perfect in every category in order to secure these wins. Every team is so tight in this league right now.
Also, forgot to mention the new players for the Windsor Express, too. One player that really stood out, Stan Smith, came off the bench, scored 10 points, got 2 rebounds, and another new player that we're going to be keeping our eye on. If you're the fan of The Miz in WWE, you'll like this Cleveland, Ohio native, Mike Parks Jr.
I think he came to play, Aaron. He came to play, and there's always a price to pay here in the BSL, and he's ready to make that jump. Obviously, signing with this team, he's ready to make that jump in his own career. And how is he going to contribute to the Windsor Express? How is he going to flow? How's the chemistry going to be here? The things that we're going to be looking at in the next couple of weeks as we approach playoff time.
Time to take a look at the keys of the game for both of these clubs. Even though Pontiac played last night, it doesn't mean that you're going to see a team that's very tired with their legs and tired in physicality. But the one thing they have to keep in mind, they have to put the pressure on when it comes to the Windsor Express.
Of course, you always have to put the pressure on, but especially would be the key to tonight's game. Coming off of a game last night for the Pharaohs and for the Windsor Express, who haven't won a game in the last two, they're looking to put the pressure on them. So if you can kind of fight fire with fire, turn the tables on them, it could really get into the Windsor Express heads, which we've seen a lot in this last season, and could lead the Pharaohs to a win.
How about this for the Windsor Express? You talk about the A-lister, one of the new players for the Express, but what about the Express bringing their A game when it comes to the boards? They're one of the top players when it comes to rebounds.
Absolutely, and I think we're going to see a lot of that from them tonight. They're going to see them kind of focus on that. That would be the key to the game for the Windsor Express. Focus on those boards. Aaron, like you said, they were so great in so many categories, almost every category last Wednesday, but it all comes down to one thing. And if that could be the factor that secures their win, it will all be worth it, of course.
This is one game out of 4 in a very busy quadruple header schedule on BSL TV. The Albany Patroons and the Newfoundland Rogues are playing right now. On top of that, you got this game. The Derby City Distillers playing in Sudbury to face the Fives. Fresh off All-Star Weekend, incidentally. And to round things off, the Glass City Wranglers, those very Wranglers team that got beaten by the Pharaohs last night, in the auditorium to face the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. But your attention is here in the Border City, in the Rose City. Stay with us. I had a nice chat with Coach Bill Jones about how the roster has changed and what to expect between the Pharaohs and the Express tonight. All that and more coming up in the coach's interview here on BSL and TBL TV. We'll be back.
Express pregame show continues on BSL TV. And now let's hear from Express head coach Bill Jones.
Coach, coming off All-Star Weekend, and I know Wednesday night didn't go well for you guys against Kitchener-Waterloo, but the shooting was well, over 50 from the field, over 50 from downtown, and you missed one free throw at the line, but the problem was down low where you gave up 74 of KW's 123 points in total. What were the problems there?
You know, they just outworked us, right? We went into the game trying to control Hollis. He had 31, and then with the guys interior, they just had 18 offensive rebounds. We turned the ball over 22 times, and they dominated in the paint. So you can't win like that. So we got an opportunity to come out here and play tonight to get back going, get on the right track. We've lost 2 in a row. To be able to reset, restart, and try to finish the season off strong.
And as the BSL season gets deeper, so does this roster with a couple of acquisitions over the past week. Trendon Hangerson's gone. He's going to be playing in Australia. We wish him nothing but the best, but you guys were able to sign 2 new players in Stan Smith, and we'll get to the other one in just a minute. But the fact that Stan Smith was able to score 10 points and get 2 rebounds in his debut, I'm sure you weren't surprised at that, and maybe that's one of the reasons why you guys picked him up.
Well, he came in advertised as a shooter, and he did his job. He was 3 for 4 from three-point range, and then made a 4-point play. So that's what we need. We need some outside shooting. Obviously, our three-point shooting hadn't been up to par, and we ended up shooting the ball really well. Wednesday, we got to continue to do that tonight and moving forward in the season. And hey, we just got to get better players to be able to get ourselves in the playoff picture.
Some breaking news in this roster yesterday: the signing of Mike Parks Jr., which brings you guys up to 4 centers in this entire roster. Tell us what Mike Parks could bring to the table.
Well, we're looking for him to bring some toughness, some rebounding, some defense, interior. You talked about giving up 74 points. We got to have a player or players be able to shut that down and cut that water off. And we got to be able to shut that down and cut that water off and be able to to control that pain, and hopefully Mike will be able to do that for us.
Okay, so with 4 centers in the roster and everyone pretty much getting into the groove, do you think the current roster itself could be a BSL title contender, or do you think there's a missing piece?
I think we are missing one piece. We're trying to solidify our interior, and then we need another perimeter guy to come out, can go out there and score the ball and make big shots and make plays for us down the end. And we're out there looking for that type of player. And that's what you got to do in this position. You got to be able to look for players to be able to help your roster to finish the season out.
Talking about tonight's game, the Pontiac Pharaohs of the TBL, and there's a plethora of talent on there. They are just coming off the victory over themselves in the TBL season yesterday. What can you tell us about this Pontiac Pharaohs team, and what are the keys to victory tonight?
Well, I had an opportunity to go watch them play last night against the Glass. It's a good team. They play hard. They well coached. A guy to come under our umbrella. And Scott Newman, and he's doing a heck of a job with those players. So, they're basketball players, so they're going to come out and compete. They're going to try to race the ball up the floor. They're going to execute on offense, and it'll be a good feather in their cap if they can come up here and do something that we got to be able to stop them from doing.
Good friendly rivalry, too, and this was the first true border city battle in the BSL and the TBL as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we'll talk about Scott Newman. He was pretty much with you in those 2 championship teams. How much has Scott provided in his time as an assistant coach, and what are your thoughts on him coaching the Pharaohs right now? Because I know in the last few years he's been trying to get the Pharaohs up to the top of the Midwest division of the TBL.
Well, Coach Newman, Coach Page, Coach McDonald, all of those guys are under our umbrella, and they've all branched off. Coach McDonald came back, so I'm happy for those guys' success and the opportunity to lead their teams. And, now it's going to be a friendly battle, like you said. So I'm looking forward to playing against a well-coached team and looking forward for the battle of the Pontiac team and the Windsor Express tonight.
It's going to be a good one, Coach. Thank you again. We'll talk again Friday when you guys go up against the London Lightning once again.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you.
Head Coach Bill Jones of the Windsor Express will come back with more between the Express and the Pharaohs. Stay with us. and the Windsor Express set to do battle here at the WFCU Center. We're about ready to go for the opening ceremony, so let's go over to the public address voice of the Windsor Express, Mark Knight.
Tonight's starting lineup brought to you by D&R Apparel. Starting with the Pontiac Pharaohs, Dwight Burton, who's known to score in bunches, along with James Town, Trent Temple, Jalen Sykes, a player that the Windsor-Essex community knows about. We'll get to that in just a moment. Along with Roselle Nix, the big center from Cincinnati, Ohio, who's averaged 15 points per game in the TBL so far. Now for the Windsor Express, they're going with a pretty different lineup than what we've seen before due to the recent releases and signings. Drake, along with Ty Gross, Latin Davis, and Paul Harrison, Calvin Blades is getting the start, along with the newcomer, Stan Smith.
Yeah, Calvin Blades definitely deserves this nod. And we'll see. This will be my first time seeing Stan Smith here at the WFCU Center, of course. Seeing a little bit of his game on the road there. But we'll see how they kind of fit into those starters. Aaron, we've seen the same 5 starters pretty much the entire season. Like you said, the changes on the roster have kind of forced them to change that up. So, again, this is the time of the year when we're getting the push for playoffs. And the Windsor Express are really going to need to make some adjustments in that sense.
The officials for tonight's game, Kinsey Murray, Mike Hardy, and the crew chief is Rick Stellick. The Windsor Express, 2-game losing streak. They want to avoid making it 3 because in recent times, Drake, they've only had 2-game losing streaks.
They haven't lost more than 2 in a row so far this year. And obviously that's not a spot that any team wants to be in. Tonight they're at home. They're back in front of their hometown crowd here on Saturday night. Let's get things started with the tip-off.
And Ty Gross will tip things off with Roselle Nix, and the Express win the tip here on this Saturday night. We're glad you're joining us here on this quadruple header on BSL TV, and especially the audience on TBL TV as well. Gross gets the ball and misses the first 3 of the game. So a fast start from the Windsor Express. They know they have to move the ball around much better and more at ease with that 2-game losing streak. They lost to KW last night. Pontiac won against Glass City last night, and Dwight Burton draws the foul. He's going to the line to shoot 3. And we've seen that a couple of times here at the WFCU Center, Drake. The Windsor Express not being smart when it comes to stepping up to one man or another, and we just saw Dwight Burton get fouled from beyond the arc.
Yeah, very early on, too, so this could be the time that Bill Jones kind of looks to his team and reassures them, reiterates that this is not where we want to go. And, you know, he misses that first of 2. You never know what you're going to get at the line with anyone as well.
In BSL TBL play, the Pharaohs lost to the Titans by 14 on January 7th. Then 6 days later, lost to Sudbury by 10 as Burton makes the first of 2 free throws, and their most recent game on February 7th against the Lightning, where they lost 122 to 105. Dwight Burton goes 2 of 3 at the line. It is 2-0 Pontiac. We're early on in this contest. Here's Ty Gross with the ball. Lance Adams, matter of fact, getting the start. So it's Lance Adams getting the start instead of Stan Smith. And we have a foul outside of the ball. We see the head coach of the Pontiac Pharaohs, Scott Newman, who used to be assistant coach for the Windsor Express, pretty much one of the catalysts when it comes to those 2 championship teams.
Throwbacks tonight here at the WFCU Center.
And Lance Adams misses the technical free throw. The Express keep the ball as we're 52 seconds into the contest. Windsor Express have lost 2 in a row. They've only lost twice here at the WFCU Center. Their recent loss here was March 6th before the All-Star break. Ty Gross outside. Here's Lance Adams. Corner 3. That goes off the top. Here's James Town of the Pharaohs, the point guard from Detroit, Michigan. Spots up for a jumper. That's off the mark. Ty Gross on the run. Straight ahead to Calvin Blades. And he knocks down the 3. Not only the Windsor Express have to be aware of that extra pass, they have to find some way to be the bully of the boards against the Pontiac Pharaohs, who have been very tough on the boards in their TBL season. Roselle Nix, guarded by another big man. Paul Harrison goes for the jump hook, and Lance Adams comes out of there with the rebound. Adams straight ahead to Harrison. He's able to save the ball before it sailed out of bounds. Calvin Blades with the ball. He's guarded by Jalen Sykes. Try to get the step off of him. Defers it over to Harrison. Straight away back into Blades. Fakes around and gets it in for two. That was a smart move from Paul Harrison not to go to three when the shot clock was running out.
Take your time with it. Don't rush into things. Again, so early in this game.
A good start to this ball game. 5-2 in favor of the Windsor Express here on BSL and TBL TV. Burton, the shooting guard, averages 14 points against BSL teams, goes for the foul, but instead he gets charged with the offensive foul himself. 9:30 to go here in the opening quarter. Both clubs with a team foul each. Matter of fact, that's just a personal foul, so no fouls yet for Pontiac's side. One for Windsor. Davis gets the screen from Harrison. Spots up. Can't get it. Blades gets the rebound. Great hustle play. Blades goes to town. Yes, put her there. And the basket counts. That was a pretty move from Calvin Blades.
Yes, nice drive in. And yes, a beautiful little move around the defender there. And he draws another one to the line. Try to make it a three-point play. Again, this is his first start of the season, Aaron. We've seen him kind of come in a little bit later into the season as well, but he's stepped in and has been fitting in with his team.
And you have to imagine, with him being one of the starting five tonight, this is Coach Bill Jones' way to assert their dominance, especially underneath the basket, for which they had trouble with on Wednesday against the KW Titans. Gave up 74 points underneath.
Can't forget the guys we have sitting on the bench right now, ready to go, like Shadell Millinghouse, just to name one. I mean, we all know what he can do. And Montreal Jacobs as well, what he's been able to do in the last few weeks. So
he's been able to score in bunches off the bench, that's for sure. Paul Harrison from the wing. No. Gross sails in for the rebound and gets the layup. 10-2 Windsor. The Windsor Express, slow start, but they were able to get into their own element with this beefed up starting five. Oh, nice circus layup underneath from James Towns as he goes to town. Lance Adams, former London Lightning. Davis looking for help. Tells Harrison to go back inside. And he does. Nice half spin. Three to shoot. Fades away. Spots up off the glass and in. Oh, Paul Harrison with this patented bank shot.
I think we'll be seeing a lot of that from him tonight. Obviously, seems to be a little bit comfortable down low in the paint. We talked about this a lot with Paul Harrison. I mean, he can be anywhere on the court. And where he's comfortable with that night, sometimes he can run away with it.
Paul Harrison getting into the groove right now is an 8-point Windsor lead. Down to 9 on the shot clock. Whoa. The kick out as it goes right out of bounds and into the stands. With 7:32 remaining. And the Pharaohs make adjustments. Andre Johnson and Khalil Gracie now into the game. The last time the Pharaohs played against the BSL team, that was against London. Gracie was the player of the game for the Pontiac Pharaohs with nearly 25 points. That was a game where the London Lightning took care of business in triple doubles and players scoring at least more than 25 points. Ty Gross goes in for the jam. And you cannot leave Ty Gross open or else he will make you pay each and every time. Three ball connects for James Towns. James Towns from Detroit played in Niagara University of the NCAA, who just turned 26 years old this past Thursday. He gets the long ball to go. Out to Calvin Blades on the other end. Blades with an in and out dribble. Skies right inside from the left. Harrison misses the banker. Gross gets another rebound. And it's a shot clock violation due to the ball not touching the rim. Tavion Ruffin checks in for Roselle Nix. And that sends us to our first media timeout of the evening. 6:38 to go. The Windsor Express lead 14-7 here on BSL and TBL TV. We'll be back.
The Express have a 7-point lead over the Pontiac Pharaohs of the TBL here at the WFCU Center. Aaron Sanders, Drake Demore here on BSL and TBL TV as Khalil Gracie goes to work right away with a three. 14-10 Windsor. And so far for the Express side, Drake, we have seen Ty Gross and Paul Harrison go to work and take care of business.
Definitely see some impressive stuff from them today.
Nice
we got a
extra
three.
Pass. And that's not all that Paul Harrison could do. That's a nice outlet look for Calvin Blaze to get the three, who's starting out tonight. Coach Bill Jones, as we heard in the coach's interview, wasn't happy with the effort underneath the basket on Wednesday night, where they gave up 74 points underneath. Remember, KW ended up with a total of 123 points.
Oh my gosh.
And the Express lost by 7.
Yeah.
And this is a good way for them to bounce back. Shadell Millinghouse into the lineup for the Express right now. Blade still on the floor. Latin Davis on the floor as well. 5 to shoot. Here's Jamestown cutting right inside to the lane and can't finish. Calvin Blades the rebound. Sends it over to Millinghouse. Bounce pass into Harrison. Couldn't get the two, but he gets the foul.
What a play, though. What a sequence of passing there. I mean, that cross-court dish, I mean, that was risky for sure. But for Shadell Millinghouse to follow it up with that bounce pass, beautiful play. Beautiful rush by the Windsor Express. And
the Windsor Express are known to share the ball around. They have 17 a game, and Harrison gets the first free throw to go. Paul Harrison, another good game underneath the basket, 21.6 rebounds on Wednesday. And for those of you who are watching on TBL TV, you should know his presence real well. He's won the last 2 TBL championships with Shreveport and Potawatomi. So this is sort of a homecoming, if you will, for Paul Harrison and Latin Davis, who both play the TBL, and Shadell Millinghouse swats that out in his house. Millinghouse came from the London Lightning just last month, and he's been known to light up the stat sheets as the three connects for Khalil Gracie again. He has 6 points right now, and that's how much he has cut this Express lead to. Calvin Blade streaking, and he is fouled by Ruffin. So we mentioned at the pregame show, the Pontiac Pharaohs have no excuse for them to come out like they're tired, but they haven't so far. Drake, what have you liked about them so far?
Well, just shooting in bunches, shooting from everywhere. We're seeing a lot of chances from them for sure. Obviously, haven't been able to capitalize on as many as they'd like, but moving that ball quick down to the court on our end here, and just a shooting frenzy from them so far.
Calvin Blaze knocks down the first free throw, and in comes Jalen Sykes for the Pharaohs, for which the Windsor Essex community knows a whole lot about. Drake.
Absolutely. If you're involved in the basketball community here, I'm sure you know that name. He played for the St. Clair Saints here in the OCAA. He's a 20-point per game player, so obviously one of their standouts. And he came here to the Windsor Express for a little bit before finding his home in his hometown, pretty much, of Pontiac, with the Pontiac Pharaohs.
And even before he played for St. Clair, he was part of the junior college in Michigan, where he put up bundles of numbers. That's right. And there he is, right then and there for the three to cut this game into a 5-point game.
So obviously the Windsor-Detroit connection showing its worth.
Millinghouse unable to get it. Andre Johnson can't keep it in bounds. It'll go back to the Express. Another thing about that St. Clair Saints team before the pandemic, Drake, they had Jalen Sykes. They had David Gomez Jr. On that squad as well, and they were so close for going deep into the OCAA playoff run, but they were able to do it, well, without Jalen Sykes, because he graduated at the time.
Yes.
There was one time where the Saints ended up almost beating Humber in the provincial championship a couple years ago, and they won the OCAA provincial championship last year as well.
And we've seen pieces of the team that Jalen was a part of. But what a dish! Oh my God! We turn the attention to the court here.
That was close.
Looks like Montreal Jacobs might be taking the line here. That was close. What a play that would have been. Yes, we've seen the remnants of that team that Jalen Sykes was on kind of carry into that championship last year, and so obviously his roots are deep here in Windsor and Detroit.
And the fact that this is the first true border city battle between Michigan and Ontario here in the BSL, this is also a homecoming for him as Montrell Jacobs makes the first free throw. A lot of Saints and Express alumni on hand tonight as Montrell Jacobs goes 2 for 2. Scott Newman, former assistant coach for the Express, had a chance to talk to Lexa Page, who was also the assistant coach for the Express in those 2 championship runs. So we can't say this is a reunion because they are 2 teams that are just looking for a win, obviously.
Just crossing paths yet again.
7-point game, 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Nice fake by Towns, out the sights, another 3. Can't get it. Back tapped. And Johnson saves it for the Pharaohs. Six to shoot. Towns spots up and gets it over Amir Yusuf. And the Pharaohs capitalizing on the second chance to get that one to go. Millinghouse over and gets it in. Up the free throw line he goes as Roselle Nix was in his face, but he was able to sail in for 2.
Easier said than done, but obviously we've been impressed with Millinghouse so far. Shadell Millinghouse with his impressive entry here to the Windsor Express. Arguably the biggest pickup for the team so far this year.
And he's made this a 26-18 game with 3:30 to go. Millinghouse, since coming into the Express, averaging 18 points per game along with nearly 10 a game. So double-double watch has always been the game plan for Shadell Millinghouse.
Before the game even starts, you got to consider him.
Gracie can't connect on the triple. Back comes Jacobs in the Express. Jacobs for 3. Put her there. In a much-needed win for the Windsor Express, Montrell Jacobs answering the call from downtown. Towns feeds it into Nix. Nice look, and he gets it in. Roselle Nix off that beautiful feed from Towns. Inside, Millinghouse.
Wow, what a shot.
Shadell Millinghouse. We've seen Montrell Jacobs get into the scoring room, save with Harrison, and now Millinghouse right on schedule. Back comes Ty Gross for the red and black. Davis spots up for a 3. That's off the mark. Rebound by Gracie. Andre Johnson trying to get the step and finds Gracie again. He'll try another 3, and he gets the 3. Had a bit of a trouble in the last few possessions, but he's able to make that work. No looker into Gross. Gross misses the 2. Went a little too hard off the backboard with 2 minutes to go. Johnson off. Latin Davis with the ball. Out to Jacobs, catch and shoot 3, put her there. And you saw him just go to the other side of the floor the moment he released it. And it's a timeout called by Scott Newman as they'll treat this as a media timeout. Under 2 minutes to go, the Express up 31-23 in this BSL TBL crossover matchup.
The new deluxe pizza sub from Subway. Tasty pizza bread filled with your favorite pizza toppings. Don't forget the napkins. Dig in to Subway's new deluxe pizza sub today. Tasty pizza bread filled with your favorite pizza toppings. Don't forget the napkins. Dig in to Subway's new deluxe pizza sub today.
31-23 the score with 1:43 remaining here in the opening quarter. And we've seen the Pontiac Pharaohs step in to their element when it comes to tough takes to the basket, but that has been overthrown by the Windsor Express's hustle so far, Drake.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're seeing the best of the Windsor Express so far tonight. I mean, smart shooting choices and capitalizing on everything, too. Very defensive, so this is exactly what we want to see from the Windsor Express every night.
Jalen Sykes hits the net, but it doesn't go in the net.
I thought that was in, yeah.
And we see the newcomer, Stan Smith, into the game. He ended up with 10 points and 2 rebounds. 31-23 the score in Windsor. Millinghouse with 5 to shoot. Steps up. Can't get in the shot. Jalen Sykes played 3 games with the Windsor Express in 2022 before being released. That shot's off the mark. Montrell Jacobs over Sykes. Can't get it. Johnson whips that one straight away to Rene Tolbert. Johnson over Millinghouse and can't get that one to go. So Stan Smith with the rebound. Sam Muldrow into the game. He has played for the Pharaohs a couple of years ago under the tutelage of Scott Newman. That's when they were playing in the old county.
And obviously they know each other well from here and their time in Windsor, too.
Another homecoming performance for Sam Muldrow probably on the way. Jalen Sykes to the 10. Can't get it to go, but there's a foul on Yusuf. Amir Yusuf into the game. So far, the rotation for the bigs has been Paul Harrison, then Muldrow, then Amir Yusuf. And when we see Mike Sparks Jr., he'll round out that rotation for the 5, which is the center, as Jalen Sykes hits the first free throw. But now you know the Windsor Express has 4 centers. I think that's the most out of any other roster in the BSL, and that's going to have to help them out with the remaining games in this BSL season.
Obviously trying to mold it to their style, you know, that hard-nosed basketball, that hard-nosed mentality is what Bill Jones is kind of known for, and what he's going to want his players to carry out in regards to his mission.
Final 3 seconds. Millinghouse fires it over 2 defenders, unable to hit. Muldrow couldn't put the clamps down, and that ends the first quarter. And it's a high-scoring one for the Windsor Express as far as anyone is concerned. They are up 31-25, and Windsor Express basketball will continue in a moment here on BSL TV and TBL TV.
The new deluxe pizza sub from Subway. Tasty pizza bread filled with your favorite pizza toppings. Don't forget the napkins. Dig in to Subway's new deluxe pizza sub today. Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they? Beyond Meatballs are now at Subway, so you can enjoy plant-based meatballs with no compromise on taste. Try them on the Beyond Meatball Marinara Sub. The new Beyond Meatballs are only at Subway.
Welcome back to BSL TV and TBL TV. The Border City battle between the Windsor Express and the Pontiac Pharaohs. And so far, the Windsor Express have a 34-25 lead over the Pontiac Pharaohs. We also want to welcome head assistant coach Aaron McDonald's father for tuning in. Aaron McDonald, coach, the assistant coach for the Windsor Express. Along with Shane Topalovic and Drake DeMore, I'm Aaron Sanders. Figure we get a couple of names out there.
Oh, there's lots of names to drop.
Yeah.
I can't forget Shane.
Absolutely. He is the trainer for the Windsor Express. Here we go. Second quarter underway. The Pontiac Pharaohs really holding their own despite this 9-point deficit. Dwight Burton into the game. Steps away, goes to Gracie for the three, and that goes in and out like the fast food restaurant. Heartbreaking possession for the Pharaohs to start the second. Stan Smith, signed by the Express this past Wednesday, and he ended up with 10 points against KW. And Smith stepped on the line. And Smith will learn very quickly that this is a fast-paced game that the Windsor Express and the BSL have in mind.
Absolutely, of course, and again, the changes here in the BSL from this new league that they've tried to implement to speed this game up is definitely new to some of these newcomers.
And they go right back outside to Burton, who goes in and can't get the teardrop. Fighting for the ball is Jacobs and Burton's. The number ones for both clubs. And the new rule in the BSL, if you're involved in a tie-up, that results into a jump ball, just like the NBA. Underneath the basket, and the Pharaohs win the tip. Temple outside for the triple. Can't get it. Falls through with his own rebound. And gets the two. A tough take from Trent Temple, who gets on the board. Spinning inside is Yusuf.
Wow.
Yes.
Three guys on him, spinning around all of them, and still able to get that up with another 2 points in this lead.
A young big man that the Windsor Express acquired from the London Lightning after they released him about a month ago. Nice spin from Jalen Sykes, who goes in for two and gets it down. Doesn't get any prettier, and that's why Jalen Sykes has been known as one of the most revered players in the OCAA at his time. Millinghouse out to Muldrow, playing against his former team. Yusuf with the spin and the bucket.
Another impressive shot, a tough shot from Amir Yusuf.
4 quick points for Amir Yusuf.
2 back-to-back and 4 quick points.
Towns all the way.
Beautiful. Now it's becoming a scoring frenzy, kind of back and forth there. And another high-paced, high-scoring game from these two teams.
NASCAR-style offense as Millinghouse couldn't get the layup. And Towns gets the board. Right away to Temple. Will he get continuation? He does. Off to the line he goes. So the Express with their first team foul. The quarter, 38-33 now. And Harrison, Blades, and Davis return for Windsor, as Yusuf, Jacobs, and Smith checks out. Hot start for Amir Yusuf with 4 quick points to start the second quarter. And the and one's completed by Trent Temple as he makes it 38-34. Millinghouse with 22 points and 7 rebounds in that loss against KW. Inside of Davis, he has that stripped away, and Burton comes up with it. Temple, straight to Nix for the jam. Nix had a lot of trouble with Paul Harrison in the first quarter, but he's able to redeem himself.
Obviously, that's one of the battles to watch tonight on the court. See those two matched up a lot, and they drain another 2. Starting to become a close game, though, Aaron. Only at 4-point lead here for the Windsor Express.
Millinghouse with a layup. Under 9 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. WFCU Center, Windsor, Ontario for this TBL BSL crossover game. Sykes down low to Nix again. Harrison right on him. Body to body. and he can't win that battle. Millinghouse looking for the pass, does a little skip to my Lou, cuts into the lane.
Wow.
Can't get it, but free throws are on the way for Shadell Millinghouse.
Yes, a few little skips there from Shadell. I mean, going end to end. What talk about NASCAR style offense. I mean,
that's how you started. Quick update in the scores around. A quadruple header in the BSL. The Rogues are leading the Patroons 109-88. Final few minutes of that game. And the Distillers of Derby City are up 24-23 against the Sudbury 5. They just started the second quarter. And with 10:22 to go, the Titans outright dominating the Glass City Wranglers 30-14. And here in Windsor, it is 41-36, courtesy of Shadell Millinghouse's free throw. A high-scoring first quarter for the Express, scoring 30-plus. Spawning up is Towns, and he can't get that to go. Harrison with the rebounds, making his presence known. That's one of the keys of the game for Windsor. Davis gets the change. Nice screen from Harrison. Towns going around the world. Gets to step on Blades, scoops in, can't get the reverse. As Harrison steps over him. Nice feed into Davis, but he couldn't finish. Blades was robbed of an assist. Jalen Sykes playing ping pong, and it's taken away by Ty Gross. Latin Davis, straight to Harrison. And that's enough for Scott Newman and the Pontiac Pharaohs to call timeout. It is a 9-point Windsor lead.
Young gun no one that back calling me splurge. Let me jump right out the curve.
He's been the human highlight reel for the Windsor Express.
Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. Crack up the foreign, I swear. Keep me a stick if they purge.
Davis with the tray.
Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they? Beyond Meatballs are now at Subway, so you can enjoy plant-based meatballs with no compromise on taste. Try them on the Beyond Meatball Marinara Sub. The new Beyond Meatballs are only at Subway. The new Deluxe Pizza Sub from Subway. Tasty pizza bread filled with your favorite pizza toppings. Don't forget the napkins. Dig in to Subway's new Deluxe Pizza Sub today.
Nine-point Windsor lead on BSL and TBL TV. And so far, Drake, we're looking at the shooting, and the Windsor Express have been wise on their shot choices. And on top of that, remember the 74 points they gave up on Wednesday? Well, they're taking care of business underneath.
no doubt about it. I mean, just from the paint alone, we'll take a look at that in a few moments here. But of course, we have Paul Harrison, Amir Youssef kind of stepping up and doing exactly that. And I mean, from field goals, we're looking at 53%. 45 points, still time to go in the second quarter here. Obviously, it's going to be a high-scoring game by the time we get to the end of it all.
And the Pharaohs have the ball. They called the timeout. They played against the Glass City Wranglers, and they won by a couple of possessions yesterday. Steal by Harrison. That was a bad pass on Pontiac's behalf. Oh, Latin Davis got everybody jumping. Millinghouse going inside to the rack, and he has another chance at the line. How about the step on Latin Davis, making one of his defenders jump up?
You don't see that very often, especially from where they were on the court there. Almost another two for Shadell Millinghouse in the paint. That being said, they have 20 points in the paint so far tonight, Aaron. Nearly half.
Nearly a stoppage of play as Ty Gross was allowed to go into the area, and Millinghouse gets that first free throw to go, and he's been making it his house. The official game ball of the BSL is provided by Baden Sports. For over 40 years, Baden Sports has been the team with a passion for a better game. So Millinghouse goes 2 for 2 at the line to make it 47-36 Windsor. 3-ball, Burton. This is a Pontiac Pharaohs team that likes to shoot the ball, don't they?
They like to play. Like you said at the beginning of the game here, and they came to play.
Harrison, that's a big matchup. Harrison and Nix going at it. Nice shovel pass into Blades, but it's taken away. Here's Trent Temple for the Pharaohs. Temple out to Burton, another three, putter there.
He likes to shoot. He likes to shoot, Aaron.
It's like the folks would say, either on the blacktop or in high school play, the shooters will shoot, and especially from beyond the arc. How about Harrison? He adds to the groove. Paul Harrison has had some tough luck from beyond the arc, Drake, but he was able to get that down with all that real estate in front of him. Jalen Sykes, the OCAA All-Star for St. Clair. Burton lost his dribble, found it again. Out to Sykes, that's a three. Heartbreak setting. As Ty Gross leads the pack. Ty Gross looking for a foul. He'll stay with Windsor, was last poked by James Towns. Khalil Gracie leading scoring with 9 points along with James Town. The one thing about this Pontiac Pharaohs team, they love to shoot, they love to pass the ball, and they're well balanced in scoring as well. Blackton Davis, back out to Adams. Starting five is back in for Windsor. Adams steps into a two, can't get that one. Step back, Burton, unable to hit. He's trying to get the Pharaohs right back into the ball game, but those tough shots won't get them back in there. Gross tough shot. He is fouled by Temple. And Scott Newman's not happy about the effort that the Pontiac Pharaohs have been displaying the last minute.
And Temple can't believe it either.
Ty Gross with 5 rebounds and 4 points, looking to make it 5 and 6 at this line. Yes. Tavion Ruffin returns into the lineup for Pontiac. In the meantime, get the latest news, signing scores, and more by following the BSL on social media. For the TBL fans, be sure to follow the Basketball League as well on your social medias. 2 for 2 was Gross as he makes this a 10-point game. Trent Temple inside trying to fight off Blades. Gets back to Dwight Burton. Andre Johnson with the dribble and the block from Gross. And that leaves Calvin Blades to go out for the races. Back out to Harrison as they slow it down. Adams behind the back. Blades, another chance to go for the stuff, but he misses it. That was a nice chance from Pontiac as they were able to get the block. Now Dwight Burton's guarded by Gross. Tavion Ruffin. Back out Burton. His heel was on the line. Little bit of footwork cost the Pontiac Pharaohs on that trip. And Khalil Gracie returns for Trent Temple. Khalil Gracie from Bloomfield, Michigan. And he's only played one game in the TBL BSL crossover games that the Pharaohs have played in. This is his second. In deep, Harrison, and swatted away by Burton. Nice heads-up play as he sends it to Ruffin, who could not control it.
It's a little bit too much just ahead of him. If not, he was on his own.
The Pharaohs are looking for the home run ball, that's for certain. And they have to find some way to tighten up their shooting a little bit. They're shooting a nearly 40% from the field. The Express shooting nearly 52.
And that's got to be the edge right now. I mean, a 10-point lead is a good lead, but it's really not. I mean, at the beginning of this game, they had a way more than that. So
that being said, they're still looking to improve that and grow it. As Calvin Blades, who's actually leading the team in points so far tonight, first time probably this year, drains another 3.
That's 16 points for Calvin Blades, 10 for Shadell Millinghouse. And great defense from the aforementioned Blades as he forces a turnover for the Pharaohs.
He's having himself a career night, we can say, so far. Gets the start and obviously showing his work.
5 of 6 from the field, 3 of 3 from downtown. No looker into Blades. Gross with the screen. Adams with the shot and the make. The Express are hitting 60 right now with under 4 minutes to go until halftime. Down on the other end, Jalen Sykes gets the easy deuce when the Windsor Express were standing like the house on the side of the road and watched them go by.
Oh.
And Davis throws that one away. 14-point game. The Express exploding right now in the second quarter, outscoring the Pharaohs 24-19.
And barely giving up any fouls, too. Only 1 foul so far this quarter. And the Pharaohs sitting at 3. Getting close to trouble.
Fakes from Gracie, and he gets it over Adams. Khalil Gracie makes it a 12-point game. Adams from Bloomington, no. Or should I say Bloomfield? Blades, that's from Amherstburg. And
there you go. There you go. Blades is on fire right now. That's 3 in a row.
19 points for Calvin Blades. Jalen Sykes over Harrison. Gets that one.
I mean, on the other end, Sykes is having himself a great night as well. We've seen a lot about, well, we know him very well, obviously, here in Windsor, Essex, but haven't been able to see him kind of pop off like this in some time.
Nice spin from Harrison. Looking for Gross. Got Gross. Can't get the 2, however. Gets his own rebound and gets the putback. Ty Gross cleaning up on the boards on the second and third chance. He almost got that steal. Nice fake from Gracie. Outside, Johnson, yes. Andre Johnson right in front of the Express bench as the Pharaohs break the 50-point mark. 2:10 to go, and Davis just blows by everybody courtesy of the Harrison screen. .65-52, nice spin from Sykes, gets away from Blades, but unable to hit. Blades slows it down as he passes the timeline. Davis shouting instructions. Up top comes Harrison, out to Blades, corner 3, not a chance. The Express are very pleased with the shooting display. How about Sykes getting it down right from Detroit to make it 65-55. You called it. He's having a heck of a game. He now has 18, or 15 rather. Harrison underneath for 2 to make it 67-55. A whistle following the bucket from Harrison. Now we'll see Wesley Johnson check in for Pontiac, but he'll have to wait to come in following this timeout. That's if they choose it. We'll see.
I thought they were going for a timeout. Just conversating with the officials right now, but we will see a little bit of commotion down there.
And now it's a timeout. 12-point lead for the Windsor Express. We have 74 seconds to play until halftime. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they? Beyond Meatballs are now at Subway, so you can enjoy plant-based meatballs with no compromise on taste. Try them on the Beyond Meatball Marinara Sub. The new Beyond Meatballs are only at Subway.
Well, the luck of the Irish definitely working in the Express's favor so far. They're near 70 points before halftime. It is 68 to 55 right now, Drake. The Express clicking on all cylinders, and the Pontiac Pharaohs continue to bounce back. And that's all because of a former player from the Windsor Express taking care of business, Jalen Sykes.
Absolutely. I mean, you never know what to expect, and I wasn't sure if he was going to be the guy that we'd be talking about a lot here tonight, Aaron. But he surprised us all, and he's kind of showing his worth. I mean, he left the Windsor Express to go to this Pharaohs team, and it's showing why.
15 points, the leading scorer for the Pharaohs. The top man is Calvin Blades, who's in his first start with 19 points. Under a minute to go, 7 to shoot. 3 ball from the wing, off the mark. Paul Harrison comes up with the rebound. That's what he's been doing best since he signed up for the Windsor Express earlier this year. Calvin Blades, a hot night, and he's driven ice cold on that 3. Time winding down until halftime. We'll have a halftime show for you as Gracie's unable to finish. Blades saves the ball. Lance Adams gives it to Harrison. Harrison spins around, fires it over Gracie and in. Down it goes for Paul Harrison, who's having another good night with 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 dimes. Fall-away shot is no good for Towns. And the Express looking for one more shot until halftime. Loose ball retained by Davis. Out to Harrison at the buzzer. Got it at the horn. And Paul Harrison lets the folks know that he's taken over, not only inside but out as well.
Just missing a little Irish jig for today.
We're at the break. It's 73-55 Windsor, and Drake and I will be back for the BSL TBL TV halftime show in just a moment.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories. There are many stories that need to be told, and those things add value to our life.
It's neat to know that so many people are relying on me. It makes you strive for perfection, or makes you strive for accuracy.
The journalism program here at St. Clair College is a convergence journalism program. Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
I can go out now and I can understand how to write a print. I know how to do social media. I can shoot a video. So you start to trust yourself and to use your journalistic skills.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I want to be a journalist because I think I like to listen other stories.
午间好，这里是媒体综合新闻节目，我是谭一丹，欢迎收看。
I find that the students that come out of St. Clair College We're already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been over the last several years.
I feel that I made the greatest decision I could by choosing this program, because I have learned so much, and I think that I can only grow from here.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it. I would recommend it to someone that's not even considering it. They teach you such a vast array of different skills, different platforms, different things that you could really...
Okay, 73-55 is the score as we welcome you into our booth for the halftime show. I'm Aaron Sanders, he's Drake Demore, and so far both of these clubs have been clicking on all cylinders. The bad news is the Pharaohs have given up 73 points, but we have been impressed of how they have been able to play, and I think that has to do with Jalen Sykes getting into his groove here tonight.
Obviously, he's been their leader so far, 15 points. I mean, a stud from the three-point line from everywhere else as well. But like you said throughout this game, Aaron, the Pharaohs really love to share the ball and share their worth. I mean, it's not just one player aside from Jalen Sykes that we can look at here. I mean, I look at Dwight Burton from the three-point line. He's been lights out, but only putting up 8 points so far tonight for his team. You got to talk about Khalil Gracie and Jamestown as well. I mean, a deep team, but yes, they have a deficit on their hands.
I was here in shoot-around this morning, and one of the plays they've worked on was establishing a pick and roll. And Coach Aaron McDonald, the assistant coach for the Express, by the way, he mentioned how much Burton could score in bunches, and he's been doing that so far. Same with the Windsor Express side.
Oh, yes.
It's been the Calvin Blaze show. The luck of the Irish just shining bright on him today.
Yeah, kind of sneaking up, especially in the first quarter. I mean, this has been a big game for him, and we talked about it from the very beginning, obviously. But in that second quarter, we took a look at the stats, and I was kind of surprised to see that he was at the top, just kind of sneaking up. Again, there's a lot of guys to look at today. We look at Paul Harrison, he's been on fire. Shadell Millinghouse off the bench, as well as Montreal Jacobs. But a coming out party for Calvin Blaze for sure. A guy who stepped onto the team a little bit later on in the season, has become comfortable, and is now obviously being a huge part of this team for the remainder of the season.
The big thing to look at when it comes to the first 24 minutes, when it comes to both of these clubs, they have one thing in common: sharing the ball and get a better look at the basket, and they've been doing that so far. Looking at the assist, pretty close, but it's Pontiac with the advantage.
Yes, I mean, if you look at these categories, I mean, you could see the Pontiac Pharaohs kind of edging them in some things, but what is it really going to come down to, Aaron? I mean, nearly a 20-point lead. Will that be the factor to kind of consider when you're in the dressing room right now as the Pharaohs? Is that what they're going to look at? Probably not. They're probably going to be looking at those boards, man. We talked about it before the game, and obviously really working for the Windsor Express. If they can kind of pick up on that and try to capitalize on as much as possible, they can get back in this game. We've seen it throughout this second quarter, really back and forth. Just towards the end, Windsor kind of running away with it.
And Pontiac has to find some way to stop the bleeding, because the Windsor Express could go out in runs. In basketball, it's a game of runs. Everybody knows that. I think anyone from a 3-year-old to a 33-year-old would know that at this point. But for the Pontiac Pharaohs, one of their key things is they have to watch out for the Windsor Express down low. And we take a look at the rebounds over the last few minutes. 27-17, a plus 10 for Windsor. So Windsor capitalizing on that are the keys to the game. Or they've been listening to us in the whole time.
Yeah, and hopefully so. But at the end of it all, I mean, 10 could not make a big difference. But right now, it obviously is. That's where they're picking up a lot of their points in the paint, like we talked about before, Aaron. 24 points in the paint. I mean, those 10 extra rebounds have something to say about that.
That's right. So at the half, the Express lead the Pontiac Pharaohs of the TBL 73-55. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be back on the call for the second half in about 9 minutes. Again, the Express 73, the Pharaohs 55 here on BSL TV and TBL TV. We'll be back.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories. There are many stories that need to be told, and those things add value to our life.
It's neat to know that so many people are relying on me. It makes you strive for perfection, or makes you strive for accuracy.
The journalism program here at St. Clair College is a convergence journalism program. Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
I can go out now and I can understand how to write a print. I know how to do social media. I can shoot a video. So you start to trust yourself and to use your journalistic skills.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I want to be a journalist because I think I like to listen other stories.
午间好，这里是媒体综合新闻节目，我是谭一丹，欢迎收
I
看。
find that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been over the last several years.
I feel that I made the greatest decision I could by choosing this program because I have learned so much, and I think that I can only grow from here.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it. I would recommend it to someone that's not even considering it. They teach you such a vast array of different skills, different platforms, different things that you could really apply to so many different careers.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared to go into the work environment in media than most students coming out of colleges and universities across North America.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they? Beyond Meatballs are now at Subway, so you can enjoy plant-based meatballs with no compromise on taste. Try them on the Beyond Meatball Marinara Sub. The new Beyond Meatballs are only at Subway. Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they?
This broadcast is a presentation of the Windsor Express in association with the Basketball Super League and the St. Clair College Sport Mediaplex. It's for the private use of our audience, and any other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Windsor Express and the BSL is strictly prohibited. The second half is about to get underway between the Express and the Pharaohs. The Express with an 18-point lead over Pontiac. And let's take a look at the other scores in this historic quadruple header here in the Basketball Super League. Let's start off in Sudbury, where the Derby City Distillers of the TBL out in the Bluegrass State, leading 60-57 over the Sudbury 5. The Distillers shooting nearly 48% of the field. Greg Bowie leading scoring with 15 points. Over in the auditorium, well, it's been rough, but it's on KW's side. The top team in the BSL leading 62-26, and they're just underway in the third quarter. It's been a rough night for Glass City, shooting 22% from the field, and KW shooting 55% despite hitting no threes so far, Drake.
Wow, that's a crazy stat.
It's a runaway game between Glass City and KW, and Albany and Newfoundland wrapping up their game too, as the Rogues complete the clean sweep.
Nice.
116-94. And remember, the Rogues were eliminated by the Albany Patroons in the Eastern Conference Finals in the TBL a season ago. So now that the Rogues are in a different league, they have a same opponent, and wouldn't you know, the shoe is on the other foot, and the Patroons got comeuppance on the other end of that.
Layers to that game. But we got a close one here, and well, not necessarily a close one. On the verge of a runaway. We'll see where this goes. Is it going to be a blowout, or is it going to be a tight game?
And Pontiac trying to find their ways to get their first win against a BSL team. And with Dwight Burton shooting, they may find a way to get back into this game and get win number 1. That 3 goes to make it 73-58. The high man for the Pharaohs is Jalen Sykes.
Well, that 3 puts him into double digits as well. So he's got some support there.
Loose ball, foul called on the Pharaohs. The Pontiac Pharaohs beat Glass City last night at home. So after losing their first game against the Medora Lumberjacks to start the season, they have won 3 in a row. 3-1 in the TBL. They are in one of the top teams in the Midwest Conference. The Windsor Express, on the other hand, they're in 5th place with a 9-8 record. A win will bump them up to 10-8 and snap a 2-game losing streak. They do not want to have their longest losing streak so far this season. Paul Harrison spots up and gets it over Nix.
That signature bank shot from Paul Harrison.
He makes it look so easy, but that's been in his repertoire, especially in his TBL days where he won back-to-back championships. James Towns guarded by Davis. Davis, a former Pharaoh. 5 to shoot, into Burton. Burton trying to fend off Gross, steps away, and almost got it. And Calvin Blades coming up with the rebound and having a heck of a game so far. Harrison to Blades. Blades screens through. Harrison jams it. And we saw that in the last game against Newfoundland. And a lot of people don't know this, but Paul Harrison could jam too. He just hasn't been given the opportunity to until now. The largest lead of the game. Roselle Nix, jump hook, off the mark. Gross gets the step on Towns and sends it to Blade right away. Can't get that one. Khalil Gracie on the rebound. He has 11 points, looking to make it 13 over Gross, and can't get the reverse. Flatten Davis cutting in from the left, gets the foul. And Martin Davis, a quiet night for him so far, 5 points. On the floor, Gross, Adams, Davis, Harrison, and Blades. Harrison now the leading scorer for the Express with 20. The Express outscored the Pharaohs 39-30 in the second quarter.
Close quarter, though, compared to first, for sure. 34-25 after that one. So obviously the Pharaohs kind of bouncing back a little bit, getting themselves in there. Latin Davis looking to extend this lead, as he does. It's 2 out of
2. 21-point game as we are 2 minutes into the third. Gross thought he got the clean block, but he's called for the foul instead. It's going to be a while until both of these clubs play again. For the Pharaohs, they're traveling to West Virginia to face the Grind on the 21st. And the Express's next game is a day after that, where they play host to the London Lightning, and what's going to be deemed a must-win game for the Express, as they're heading right down to the wire in the 2024 BSL season.
And we'll be here to call all that action on BSL TV.
It's going to be a good game. The last time,
of course, always is.
The last time the Express and the Lightning faced off was back on the 3rd, where the Express beat the Lightning at Budweiser Gardens 100-95. It is 79-59 in favor of Windsor right now. Latin Davis with the ball, stumbles a little bit, picks up his dribble, and finds Harrison. Davis out to Gross. He's looking for a shot. Can't get that one. Ty Gross usually scores in bunches around this point. Has been unlucky. Blades with the steal. Nice pickoff from him as he goes to the races. And it's an offensive foul. Blades a little too aggressive on his way to the 10. And the way his game has been so far tonight, you can't blame him when he has an opportunity to go to the basket.
Sometimes when you're having a game like that, you get a little bit comfortable. I don't want to say too comfortable, but you get a little bit risky, you know.
Nice step.
Oh,
from
almost
Towns.
A strip by Latin Davis there.
You know, and they got it anyway. Ty Gross goes to town, wanted to foul, gets it late. So Gross looking to get into this game, and he'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, down at the line. Ty Gross, and again, the Windsor Express starting with nearly a brand new roster from a year ago, from the final year of the National Basketball League of Canada. There's only one returning player as of now, and that is Latin Davis. Jamiron Jackson was traded to Sudbury in the middle of February. So you have no choice but to press the reset button on everything. New year, new league, pretty much a brand new team, and Bill Jones has been doing an exceptional job at that. The best dressed coach of the month.
Yeah, I noticed that. And obviously he deserves that. Picking up sport in the pink tonight. But yeah, Aaron, I mean, we talked about this throughout the whole season, and it's ever changing, this team too. I mean, making the roster changes keeps that mentality fresh.
And the Windsor Express defense coming alive as Dwight Burton steps out of bounds.
So obviously the Express still looking to make moves, still looking to be adaptive with their roster in the sense of where they're going to use their guys, when and how.
And you heard Coach Bill Jones in that interview. He said he's missing a big piece in order for them to go all the way and win the first BSL title. Harrison from deep, too strong. Adams gets the rebound. Gross loses control, but picks it back up. Davis able to get the ball before it was swatted away. Davis gets enough room, fires it over Nix, can't get it down. Harrison the rebound over Sykes, and he gets the putback. And usually when you see a team score 83 points, it's not until the final few minutes of the third quarter as Ty Gross gets the foul. That's right.
This could be a final score, but maintaining a good 20-point lead is the Windsor Express here too. It's going to be hard for the Pharaohs to really bounce back. If they can bring it to 10, then we got a game here, but if the Express pulling out a 20-point lead, it's going to be hard. Difficult, to say the least.
And with that foul, the Express with 2 team fouls. First free throw goes. Jerseys and merchandise of the BSL are provided by Wooter Apparel, the #1 shop for custom team gears, custom uniforms, and apparel, offering the best sublimated uniforms and apparel at unbeatable prices. 7:48 to go here in the third. The free throw is missed, and Ty Gross was able to pick up the rebound. Incidentally, that foul on Harrison was his third. Adams in deep, stutter step, feeds it into Harrison, fakes once and gets it in on the second go. Yep, this is pretty much the Paul Harrison show here in the third quarter. 22 points and 4 rebounds, but Ty Gross has the Tim Hortons double-double with 11 boards and 10 points. The dynamic duo on the floor right now. Nice behind the back from Gracie, steps away and misses it from Bloomfield, Michigan. Adams gets it. Lance Adams has had a rough night, but he's able to connect on that three to give him 6 points and to give the Express a 28-point lead. Scott Newman calls a timeout with 7:05 to go. We'll be back after this.
Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they? Plant-based Beyond Meatballs are now at Subway. Try them on the mouth-watering Beyond Meatball Marinara Sub. Beyond Meatballs, only at Subway. Meatballs don't grow on trees.
Drake, a 28-point lead for the Windsor Express right now. The Pontiac Pharaohs earlier seemed to match the Windsor Express, but they have been doing everything they can and everything to throw off the Windsor Express, but they haven't been doing that on the defensive end.
No, in the last 5 minutes here, it's been all the Windsor Express. We've seen Paul Harrison kind of take over. Let's look at the stats so far for this this quarter. 15-5 for the Windsor Express. I mean, that kind of says it all. I mean, dominating in this last only 5 minutes. There's still a chance for the Pharaohs to get back into it. But nearly a 30-point lead, Aaron. We were talking about it a little bit ago. I mean, if we maintain a 20-point lead, it's going to be very difficult for them to come back. 30 is even more difficult.
Lance Adams gets the step on Andre Johnson and connects on a three.
We talked about how he was having a little bit of a rough start in that first half. But we seem to be more comfortable now.
Stepping back is a three of their own, the Pontiac Pharaohs, courtesy of Andre Johnson, the point guard from Houston, Texas, who averaged 13 points again against BSL teams, and Paul Harrison gets that layup with ease. A 30-point game with 6:10 to go. Burton has a little bit of the cold hand. Out to Johnson, gets the three again. Back-to-back triples for Andre Johnson. And Lance Adams stepping up here in the third quarter. Harrison fakes on the three, drives inside and gets the finger roll. A la George Gervin, another Michigan native and an NBA Hall of Famer. The Express nearing 100 points, more than halfway into the third. Nice fake from Gracie, but can't finish. Millinghouse, did a little bit of a nutmeg, goes behind the back, and it's swallowed up by Gracie. Down on the other end of the floor is Towns. A little too much as the mustard comes off the hot dog for Chanel Millinghouse.
But this is the time to get a little bit more risky, too. I mean, nearly a 30-point lead. You can kind of do those things.
Millinghouse trying to redeem himself, and he does. 97-68 the score. Under 5 minutes left here in the third. The Express opening up everything as they're outscoring the Pharaohs 24-13. Down low, Harrison from Gross. I think the Express are getting hungry because they found their bread and butter. And a quick timeout with 4:34 to go, 99-68. We'll step aside for this message.
Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they? Beyond Meatballs are now at Subway, so you can enjoy plant-based meatballs with no compromise on taste. Try them on the Beyond Meatball Marinara Sub. The new Beyond Meatballs are only at Subway.
Windsor 99, Pontiac 68. A dominating effort from the Windsor Express so far here in the third quarter. And when you shoot nearly 60%, that's bound to happen.
Of course, Aaron. And I mean, just take a look at everything here. I mean, three-pointers, you're going to have 43%, 46%, sorry, and 90 at the line. I mean, we've got to take a look at Paul Harrison, too. He surpassed Calvin Blaze some time ago here this quarter. He's looking at 30 points.
And Jamestown ended up with that layup to make it 99-70. In the first half, it was the Calvin Blaze show, and we saw Paul Harrison rise up and take top scoring honors for the Express. Millinghouse connects. And at the 4:09 mark, Drake, the Express are at 102 points.
Still a whole another quarter to go here after this 4 minutes, Aaron.
A must-win for the Express as Andre Johnson skies in for another easy two. Nice feed into Jacobs, courtesy of Chanel Millinghouse. The Express have been dishing the dimes here tonight. Screen from Nix allows Towns to drive in, and he is fouled. Not so long ago, Drake, we saw Mike Parks Jr., the newcomer for the Express, check in. And he will stay on the floor as Amir Yusuf replaces Ty Gross. So Mike Parks Jr. played in Memphis, and he was coached by NBA legend Penny Hardaway. And he played in Australia and Hong Kong and was just signed to the Express last night. So you have four centers for the Express, and he is on the floor right now.
Number 14 for the Windsor Express. This is his first time here at WFCU. So
Amir Yusuf from Latin Davis makes it 106-72. And he was one of the top scorers in the NBL 1 when he scored 17.5 points per game as Towns steps into a shot and gets it down. Parks with the jam in his first two.
Talk
as a
about
Windsor
making
Express.
An impression. Oh my God.
And Mike Parks He could rip that rim off. How about that jam? The Cleveland, Ohio native. For the fans of the Miz, that was awesome. Three ball, Johnson was looking for the foul but doesn't get it. Knicks loses control. Up comes Millinghouse in the Express. Straight to Davis, catch and shoot three. That battles off the top. Jalen Sykes on the run. And that's the kind of highlights that he has displayed in his days as a St. Clair Saint.
Still doing it to this day. It's cool to see where they go on sometime, you know, from college, from university, whatever it may be, even from the Express.
He's a pro now, playing for the Pontiac Pharaohs. He's led the Pharaohs in scoring for most of the way. Mike Parks Jr. with the ball again. Feeds it into Yusuf. And it circles the drain and down. For a second there, it looked like Mike Parks was going to take it all by himself, but we saw him lose control. So that was a great look and great heads-up play from Yusuf.
Great look not to be a selfish teammate as well. Stepping onto his team, he wants to make as many friends as possible.
And he intimidates Jamestown on the shot. Montrell Jacobs fires it from deep. Hits off the top of the backboard, therefore it's out of bounds. Even though we have seen Mike Parks connect on his first bucket, a lot of people will say, well, that doesn't mean much unless he scores in bunches or plays efficiently. But he is showing his presence right away. He is in the 5, Amir Yusuf in the 4 position. Shadell Millinghouse almost got his ankles taken away from Johnson. Stays on Towns with 3 on the clock. He fires it from the key and connects. Jamestown is one of those get-at-me players, so to speak. Millinghouse can't get it from downtown. And Jamestown's the only one for the Pharaohs, misses the layup. Davis shovels it into Millinghouse, feeds it right away to Jacobs. Parks asking for the ball, and he feeds it to Yusuf instead. Threading the needle was Latin Davis. And at this point, the Windsor Express could breathe a little bit as they are up by 34 points. Temple goes to the line. So Trent Temple in the TBL coming into this weekend, Drake, averages 22 per game, averages nearly 16 against BSL opponents, and he is 81% at the line against these BSL squads. So a very reliable player when it comes to the line. How is he doing tonight? That is the question as he knocks down the first.
I want to say not having the best night, but of course we haven't seen a lot of him compared to some of the others like Jamestown and Jalen Sykes, but he makes 2 of those to get things started. Hopefully in a comeback for his team.
They hit 80 with 30 seconds to go here in the third. Nice pick from Parks, and he gets the ball as a reward.
Try to stop that train coming in.
4 points for Parks in an Express uniform. Nice fake as Andre Johnson gives it right away to Nix. He finally gets that jump hook to go as it's 114 to 82. We're in the final seconds here in the third. The Express slowing things down. Montrell Jacobs at the far side. Davis for 3. Can't get it at the buzzer, but I'm sure the Express don't mind that one bit as we are at the end of 3. The Express with a commanding lead over the Pontiac Pharaohs of the TBL. You're watching Windsor Express basketball on BSL TV and TBL TV.
Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they? Beyond Meatballs are now at Subway, so you can enjoy plant-based meatballs with no compromise on taste. Try them on the Beyond Meatball Marinara Sub. The new Beyond Meatballs are only at Subway.
Out of town scores before we start the fourth quarter. The Sudbury 5 and the Derby City Distillers making it a close game with a few minutes to go in the third quarter. Nick Liard and Rick Wyman on the call. Sudbury leading 77-55 over Derby City. And in the fourth quarter, the KW Titans running away in their BSL-TBL crossover game, leading 97-55 against the Glass City Wranglers as they are moments away from starting the fourth quarter. Ian Jodry on the call over there. And the Newfoundland Rogues swept the Albany Patroons in the triple header, a game noticeable for a revenge for the Newfoundland Rogues. They were able to take care of business here, over there. But over here in Windsor, the Windsor Express leading 114-82 as the fourth quarter is about to begin. Aaron Sanders and Drake Demore here on BSL and TBL TV. We thank you for spending your time with us here on this pre-St. Patrick's Day Eve matchup. And the luck has been shining on the Express this side, but not on this possession, as Towns goes in for two to open up the scoring here in the fourth. Not the best ways to start the fourth quarter, but it shows that Pontiac will not go away quietly. Mayor use over the ball. He's guarded by Sykes. Quick pass right away to Montrell Jacobs. Jacobs spins around. Tough shot off the top. Loose ball on the floor. Recovered by Tavion Ruffin. The Express shooting 60% from the field. So far their best shooting performance here in the BSL season. And the Pharaohs, they're not doing bad from the field goals with 45%.
No, if you look at, 45%. If you look at everything too, I mean, they've been in this game. It was mostly in the latter of the second half and early of the third that the Express really started to run away with it. But aside from that, they've been doing their thing. I mean, 22 rebounds, 19 defensive rebounds as well, 16 assists throughout the whole team, and 23 bench points. I mean, they're still in at 26 points from the paint. It's just when you look at the Windsor Express side, they're far ahead of them.
Mike Parks Jr. makes it 6 points in his Express debut with that bucket. 32-point game. Jalen Sykes can't connect from downtown. And Mike Parks all alone for the rebound.
Perfect time to get him and Stan Smith on the court.
And another player that can warm up is Montrell Jacobs as he misses it. Stan Smith crack at a three off the front. Yusa picks it up. Third chance for the Express as Jacobs brings it up off near the side. And they have to reset the shot clock to 14 since it hit off the rim. So they'll take a moment to reset the clock. We played 90 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Two teams not playing tonight, and that is the Lightning. They will play tomorrow to wrap up the week. And the Montreal Tundra, who hasn't played since the All-Star break. Chanel Millinghouse cuts in for two to make it 118-84. And the Windsor Express are above the Montreal Tundra in standings, 5th place. Tough layup from Tavion Ruffin as he gets on the board. KW, assuming a miracle or a comeback won't happen for Glass City, they will stay in first place by the end of tonight. And the London Lightning have been saying it on social media. They want to get their top spot back. They may have a little bit harder a chance to do it as Montrell Jacobs gets the and one. And we have seen in these home games, Montrell Jacobs is a player that had a quiet start in the BSL season, but he has been coming into his own, especially a breakout game where he scored 15 points in 13 minutes. That's high efficiency to a T.
Yeah, I mean, more than a point per minute. Can't get much better than that.
They ruled that as an offensive foul on the Express, but they still count the basket. So 120-86 is a score. 2 minutes into the fourth and final quarter. Oh, look out as Jamestown is hobbling, and that's not a good sign. We've seen this from Amani Chaney in one of the Newfoundland Windsor games before the break, and he went down in a heap, and he's trying to put weight on it. That's not going to be the case. That's
mid-stride there, yeah.
That's right. That's going to lead into a timeout as Shane Tabalovic and the rest of the Express training staff will tend to him. And as they do that, we'll step aside for a break.
Meatballs don't grow on trees. Or do they? Beyond Meatballs are now at Subway, so you can enjoy plant-based meatballs with no compromise on taste. Try them on the Beyond Meatball Marinara Sub. The new Beyond Meatballs are only at Subway.
Before we stepped aside, we saw Jamestown landed awkwardly on his way to the basket, but the training staff has been able to work on him, and he's trying to put weight on that leg, but it's easier said than done, and we have seen this kind of injury before. Hopefully it's not serious, considering Jamestown is one of the Pharaohs' leading scorers, not only in this game, but in the TBL. 21 points per game and 20.3 in BSL competition. So hopefully we'll be able to see him again soon. He has 20 points and 8 assists. Definitely not something you want to see as we are winding down the minutes here into this ballgame.
And a big loss, obviously, for the Pharaohs. Still looking to try to bounce back here.
120-86 is the score. Newcomer Stan Smith into the lineup. Feeds it to Yuso. Off the glass and in. It is improbable but not impossible to come back from this game, but time is a-ticking as Pontiac continues to miss some shots.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to come back from a nearly 40-point lead in 9 minutes, but crazier things have happened.
Nice poke from Ruffin as that goes right into the fans with nearly just about 9 minutes to go. Once again, on the TBL side, the Pharaohs' next game will be on the 21st, where they will travel to play against the West Virginia Grinds. For the Express, their next game is Friday, here to face the London Lightning. And Shadell steals the ball. Goes behind the back and draws the foul. And that's been his game. You know what's interesting, too, Drake? We've been doing this for a long time. You 3 years, me, well, we'll not go there. But the one difference I've noticed from NBL play and BSL play is that these players, they could run the floor and they could be on the start of a fast break and they could be on the end of the fast break, traveling all 92 feet of the floor. And that's why the BSL and the TBL too, they're fast-paced leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a good observation, Aaron. Shadell Millinghouse hits that second one there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you see this every time that the TBL comes in. It's a fast-paced game, no matter what the score may be. That being said, sometimes the BSL sometimes can be a little bit of a slower pace to get there. And again, trying to slow that game down.
We saw that from Trent Temple, who went in for the layup, and Millinghouse misses another two. Amir Yusa picks it up and gets it down. And Amir Yusuf having one of his better games as an Express player so far, as that three doesn't go for Ruffin.
Getting a lot of time in this fourth quarter, of course.
And unable to get the bucket was Stan Smith. And neither can Ruffin. Those are two straight misses from Ruffin inside. Millinghouse on the feed to Smith. We are looking at two of the latest acquisitions for the Windsor Express working their magic right now. Parks and Smith, as the Express are running away with this game with 7:47 left. Coming into this game, the Express had a two-game losing streak. They lost to Newfoundland here on this floor on March the 6th. as Blades comes up with the steal. That was the second loss at home for the Express, as they have the best home record here in the BSL. Calvin Blades finds Jacobs. And now it's becoming tradition that Montrell Jacobs just lights up the scoreboard here at the WFCU Center. Foul on Smith, as Pontiac was looking for an easy two, courtesy of Andre Johnson. But he left the earn that the old-fashioned way. But how is Amir Yusuf doing here tonight? He has to be around 6-8 points.
Oh, you'd be surprised, Aaron. He's sitting at 14 points tonight, 6 rebounds. I mean, he's still kind of below some of his bigs, but again, in the third quarter and getting a lot of time so far tonight in the fourth, 14 points could be a career high for him.
Again, welcome to our viewers who are tuning in from Michigan and all around TBL TV as the Pharaohs are up against the Express. Aaron Sanders and Drake Demore on the call. Here from Windsor, the Rose City. Temple, tough shot. The slow down from Andre Johnson. Oh, he was frustrated, but he finally got his bucket.
And that gets the bench up.
You need something to smile about on the way back to Pontiac.
Oh, they got some highlights to rewatch for sure.
Including that one, too. That block from Temple is Dwight Burton. Skies in for 2. One of the Express's vices all season long has been playing 3 quarters but falling asleep in just one of them. And they did just that in Kitchener-Waterloo. Had the fourth quarter in their hands but gave it up. So they can't take their foot off the pedal here, because this is more of a statement game for the Express than many people will know. 2-game losing streak, losing 130 to 120 to Newfoundland here on the 6th before the All-Star break, and then losing 123 to 116 in Kitchener-Waterloo on Wednesday. And mind you, your schedule's not getting any easier, because they're going to face the Lightning here on Friday, followed by Sudbury in Sudbury on that following Sunday. So this is a game for them to recover and give a chance for their new players to get onto the floor as Amir Yusuf goes to town, and this is the 2. Stan Smith is there to try to put it back, but he got it down the 3rd time as Andre Johnson blocked him on the 2nd chance. And as it's a steal, here comes Ty Gross on the town as he sends it to Yusuf. Misses the 2. Gross trying to get the rebound. And Tavion Ruffin is the one to pick it right up. Temple out to Tolbert. And he gets the long bomb. Such scenes we have seen in that last possession. It could have been anybody's game.
Yeah, you might have missed it here. And it actually went off Calvin Blades' back, and that's what started the turnover there for the Windsor Express. The Hail Mary pass was incomplete and kind of caught him by surprise.
Amir
Yusuf adds another 2 to his night. He's looking at 16 points.
He's been taking care of the business at the rim so much that the lower part of the padding fell down. On the other end, the Pharaohs head to the line. Again, this is a game for the newcomers to actually get into the swing of things, work on the plays that the Express have for them. And again, earlier on shoot-around, we've seen Mike Parks put in some work. Same with Stan Smith in his 2nd game with the Windsor Express. And during that shoot-around, we have seen plays to the point where it could limit Dwight Burton for the Pontiac Pharaohs as that first free throw connects. One of the key things was to stop Dwight Burton because he could score in bunches. So far, he has 13 points.
Yeah, I mean, and all that came in pretty much the first half. So the second half, they really did that job correctly. Did it well. Shut him down. You haven't seen him putting up many points since.
Montrell Jacobs tried to give it to Yusuf, but that's taken away. Ruffin got that pass from Tolbert. Spins around, fires it over Smith. That's off the mark. Calvin Blades, a red-hot first half. Can he continue the damage? He misses. Andre Johnson fouled, and he's off to the line for 3. Calvin Blades on the foul. And technically, that's how this game started out.
Yeah.
Foul from beyond the arc.
Yep. Yeah, right away. And it started with the Pharaohs kind of taking a small lead. Again, if there is more time with this, I do feel a little bit of some momentum shifting for the Pharaohs, but obviously losing some of their best players and not enough time to come back from a 30-point lead. But let's see if they can make it interesting here.
Earlier, we've seen James Towns go down, and he was on the floor for a little bit. We have yet to see him back. And hopefully, we see him back on the floor soon. If not here tonight, hopefully later on in the TBL season, as Scott Newman and company will have to look in and see how severe the injury is, as both free throws go for Pontiac as they break the 100-point mark. 3 other games going on in the BSL. We'll get you caught up with them in just a moment and in the post-game show. No look pass, 2 passes in. That's Stan Smith teeing it up from downtown. And the Windsor Express on the verge of their best scoring performance this year, as they ended up with one of their highs over the last few games, as Temple unable to finish the stuff. The donut missed the coffee. Wheelbarrow pass. Oh, behind the back pass to Jacobs.
My God.
And he got blocked by Tavion Ruffin. Oh, the block party is in full effect here tonight.
He's not happy. I think they got called for a defensive foul there, Aaron. But oh my God, what a beautiful play. Even better defensive play. Swatting that thing out of here. It is going to send Montreal Jacobs to the line, but wow, what a highlight to say the least.
Either way, we've seen a highlight play, whether on Pontiac's side or Windsor's side. That is just terrific, as Montreal Jacobs goes for the first free throw. Gets that one to go. We're looking at some of the top scoring performances from the Windsor Express this season. On February 4th, they defeated the Lightning 116-114. They also defeated the KW Titans in overtime, and they scored 119 off of that. So no doubt about it, this is their best scoring performance of the season so far.
No doubt about it.
It's amazing for a lot of the fans wondering, gee, the Windsor Express can make this a close game, and they have. They have in this season so far. But until this game, they haven't scored above 120.
And look at who's doing it, too. Everybody's doing it tonight for the Windsor Express. Talked about Paul Harrison being the leader so far tonight. But there's so much to talk about with this Windsor Express team. Calvin Blades with 19 points. Shadell Millinghouse with 18. Amir Youssef, Montreal Jacobs, Ty Gross, all putting up double digits tonight. So,
and most of those players started out rough into this game, but the second half has been a big one for the Express.
Lance Adams still with 9 points, the only guy not in double digits that we usually see up there, as well as Martin Davis, of course, and Sam Muldrow, who didn't get a lot of playing time today.
Fans wanted to travel, they won't get it. Temple spins around through everybody, goes for the stuff, and he misses it. That's 2 donuts that missed the coffee. Montreal Jacobs, Euro step, and gets it in. Oh, what a fantastic sequence from Montreal Jacobs, as a quick timeout is called by Scott Newman and the Pontiac Pharaohs. The Express nearing 140 in their best scoring performance tonight. The Pontiac Pharaohs have 101 and will head to a break. Express having an outright dominant game, shooting 58% from the field, 83% from the line, out-rebounding the Pharaohs 54-30. So, safe to say, one of the keys of our games, have it right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes it's good when those broadcaster jinxes kind of go the other way.
The broadcaster's touch. You've heard of the Midas touch, the golden touch. There you go. Now, the points in the paint, like we said, in recent times have been a problem for the Express, but they're capitalizing on it right now. Underneath, 68-34.
Wow. And that was a message that Bill Jones sent before the game, Aaron. And I mean, they definitely are making him happen so far tonight with that. I mean, come on, nearly 70 points underneath the basket.
And you have to say the big men have been really rising up here. Looking at Paul Harrison with a 30-piece once again. Amir Yusuf with 16. Mike Parks getting 6 points and 4 rebounds in his debut. And Sam Mojo, we've only seen for a time, he has 1 assist. But overall, those big men, they have capitalized on 12 offensive rebounds, and that's why the Express have been vicious from the start. 139 to 101.
Of course, we have a deep roster of big men and centers here at the Windsor Express now.
3 ball doesn't fall as Lance Adams gets it from Amir Yusuf.
At the 3-minute mark with nearly a 40-point lead.
Lance was looking for Amir Yusuf, but he just went to the basket and wasn't able to stop in time. Andre Johnson trying to pick up the load here for the Pharaohs since James Towns went down with a lower body injury. We haven't seen him since. 3 ball, no good as Tolbert goes for it. And this is something we have seen from the Windsor Express all night, taking risk of trying to pick up an extra man. And it has burned them despite the 38-point lead. That is what's been burning them, not picking up on their assignments right on schedule. We got other games going on here in the BSL TBL crossover night, if you will. The busiest schedule in BSL history, as it's all coming down to the wire. In the fourth quarter, the 5 are leading the Distillers 102 to 94. Both these clubs shooting in the mid-40s. A.J. Mosby Jr. with 23 points. The leading man of the entire game is Greg Bowie of the Distillers with 26 points. Over in the auditorium, it's a runaway game for the KW Titans as they continue to show their dominance and stays at the top of the BSL rankings as they lead the Glass City Distillers in the final few moments of that game. 123 to 79. I'm sure Cliff Clinkscales is pleased with the effort from the KW Titans team. 7 players in double-digit scoring figures as that shot bounces off the rim and back out. Drake, if you want to hear BSL history again, well, I'll tell you about it in just a moment as Johnson goes for the 3 and knocks it down. In that KW game, Jaquan Lightfoot is the leading man with 21 points and the best, a BSL best, 24 rebounds.
Holy moly.
That is just outstanding play from Jaquan Lightfoot.
I don't think we'll see that repeated this year, to say the least.
Fantastic game. We have to check the rebounds on that later as Calvin Blades gets the 3.
He's setting a BSL record.
And the Express may set another BSL record here by scoring 142 points. 70 rebounds for the KW Titans. That's a BSL best. As we pay attention to the record books on this game, in the final 90 seconds here in this game, 3 in the key is called, so the ball goes the other way. Last month, the Newfoundland Rogues and the Sudbury 5 put up their best. Rogues scoring 144 points in one game, Sudbury scoring 143. And if the Express gets 3 more points, they will break the all-time record in most points scored in a game. We'll see if that happens right now. For those of you tuning in, BSL history definitely made with Jaquan Lightfoot with 24 rebounds and 70 total rebounds for the Titans. Over here, we're paying attention to the points as Montreal Jacob goes to town and gets the 2. So that ties the BSL record.
Looking to make history. Looking to make history here in Windsor yet again.
And the Express are looking for it as we are in the final minute here in the game. Basket doesn't go for Gracie, and here comes Windsor. Matter of fact, we'll just lay out and let the crowd tell you what happens. Well, with that,
yeah, that's
Khalil
Gracie giveaway.
Gets the steal and gets the deuce, and he's off to the line for the and 1. So the Express, they've been doing well as far as ball movement is concerned, but in the final minute, they're just letting up as the Pontiac Pharaohs are at 108 points. A historic night. 4 games played in the BSL schedule. And that makes it 144 to 109. The Express with at least one more possession. 27 seconds to go. Shot clock is at 17. So it's good enough that the Express have 144 points. And Montrell Jacobs will look like he will dribble out the clock. That's just great sportsmanship. They know they tied the BSL record with about 6 seconds to go.
Wonder if they know.
Well, they'll know afterwards. That is for certain.
Yes, maybe we should have went for that shot.
The Pharaohs will inbound it. Khalil Gracie to Renee Tolbert. The officials looking to add more time on the clock. 5.8 seconds to go. A convincing win for the Windsor Express. They get their 10th win of the season. Goes up to 10-8. And they have a big game against London on Friday as Lance Adams picks it up. Calvin Blaze with the steal. Dominate. That's one way to express how this game has went. As the Windsor Express beat the Pontiac Pharaohs of the TBL 144 to 109 as they are tied for the most points scored from a team in BSL history. We'll have post-game coverage after this.
I got it.
104 to 109, or 144 to 109 is the final here at the WFCU Center. The Windsor Express tying the record for most points scored in BSL history. We welcome you to our booth for the BSL TBL post-game show. Aaron Sanders, Drake Demore. Okay, so one thing to mention about the Pontiac Pharaohs, they're very good, and they kept it pretty close in the first half, but there was something about that second half which really woke the Windsor Express up. And Pontiac, it was downward from there, but you have to give credit to them because they played a really great game, and it goes to show how unselfish they are with the ball. There's been plenty of players that have scored in double digits. Matter of fact, there were 6 of them at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the first half, Aaron, or sorry, at the halftime show. I mean, spreading the wealth as this team. I mean, just take a look up and down there with everybody getting double digits, getting assists. I mean, they like to spread the love in Pontiac.
Well, let's look at the leading scorers for tonight's game for Pontiac. Jamestown with 20 points and 8 assists, but we have to keep in mind, too, he went down with a lower body injury in between the third and the fourth quarter, and he was carried off to the locker room, and hopefully we'll see him on the TBL floor again very soon. But it did look serious. But despite the injury at the time, he led scoring, and Andre Johnson coming off the bench with 20 points, and Khalil Gracie with 15 points as well. And Jalen Sykes
Hot first half.
Yeah.
Can you say, welcome back, Windsor? Here I am again. Jalen Sykes did that in the first half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, he was deadly from the three-point line, but everywhere. Picking up great rebounds as well for his team. I'm sure he has a great numbers category there. But that being said, I mean, it was a welcome back for Jalen Sykes. You didn't know what to expect, and he definitely, made us repeat his name many, many times tonight.
But the victors tonight are the Windsor Express. As you could hear, Don't Mess with Bill in the background. The birthday boy, the head coach of the Windsor Express, get a much-needed win.
Yes.
For the Windsor Express, only 5 players in double digits. The Tim Hortons double-double goes to Ty Gross, 12 rebounds and 10 points. Latin Davis, he didn't score in bunches tonight, but 13 assists.
Yeah.
That is a BSL single-game record, and we were this close for seeing the most points scored record broken too tonight with 44. But look at this. Montrell Jacobs and Shadell Millinghouse coming into their elements. A combined total of 37 points. Amir Yusuf with 16. Paul Harrison, usual 25 to 30 point game. There you go. But how about Stan Smith and Mike Parks Jr., the newcomers playing in their first home game in an Express uniform?
Especially in that second half and towards the end in the fourth quarter, getting a lot of playing times and really showing their worth. I mean, playing well together as well. Good dynamic between the two of them. Great passing and continuous rebounds from the two.
That's right. So another look at the scores as we are near the end of our broadcast. The KW Titans running away with it with the Glass City Wranglers, a team for which the Pharaohs played yesterday, and the Glass City Wranglers got defeated. That final score was 127-83, and it's safe to say a historic performance from Jaquan Lightfoot. 25 rebounds, 21 points, and a total of 72 rebounds. And this is all just in regulation. So they did exceptionally well, and the KW Titans stay in first place. The Patroons were defeated by the Rogues 116-94. That sweeps the triple-header series for the Rogues in a series that they were looking forward to since last year when they were in the TBL. And looking at the game in the Sudbury Community Arena, that is still going on. Nick Leard and Rick Wyman on the call. The 5 leading by 5, 110-105 against the Derby City Distillers. A close game overall in which both of these clubs are shooting in the mid-40s. But here in Windsor, that does it for us. As the Windsor Express, well, they tie BSL history rather with 144 points, and they defeat the Pharaohs by 35. 144-109 is the final score. Our next game will be this Friday as the London Lightning return to town to face against the Windsor Express. Another installment of the 401 rivalry. We hope you tune in for that. Drake and I will be back on the call, starting with the BSL TV pregame show at about 6:45, along with the interview with the coach. And it's going to be interesting to hear what Coach Bill Jones has to say after this win, and looking forward to Friday. So there's no love lost between the Express and the Lightning, and we're going to see it all unfold again in the 401 rivalry.
Absolutely. I mean, the last one was intense. It was hot, to say the least, and this was a big win. This is a statement win for the Windsor Express. They needed to bounce back and really satisfy their coach. I mean, we talked about working underneath the basket, picking up rebounds and working in the paint, and they did exactly that tonight, and I'm sure he's going to be happy, but it's not over now. Now we take this and continue forward for the rest of the season as we face one of our rivals next Friday at the London Lightning here at the WSU Center.
And that's right. And for now, it's a happy birthday for Coach Bill Jones as the Express defeat the Pontiac Pharaohs, whose head coach is Scott Newman, former assistant coach of the Express, 144-109. We'll be back here on Friday for the Lightning and the Express. And now, on behalf of the entire crew, we thank you for tuning in. This broadcast is a presentation of the Windsor Express in association with the Basketball Super League and the St. Clair College Mediaplex. It's for the private use of our audience, and any other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Express and the BSL is prohibited. Stay safe. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. We hope to have the pleasure of your company again on Friday. Now for Drake Demore, this be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Rose City.